with old Farmer McCarty. He was a happy farmer. Life was good. He had a little kid named Jimmy. He had a beautiful wife named Patricia. He was real happy. But then, the worst thing happened for McCarty. His wife died. So he took to a life of drinking. He was drinking hard, real hard. He got very depressed, hated the world, saw nothing but death and despair. One time, Jimmy came home from school, and he saw his dad in this state of anger and disgust. And, well, let's just say the situation got heated, and old Farmer McCarty, he got out of his head, and with all the drinking and all, he took his rage out on Jimmy. He took Jimmy and dragged him down into the cellar. He didn't want Jimmy to see the world anymore. Thought it was just be better for him to just be locked in a little room, isolated from society forever. There's nothing in that room but a candle and a box of matches. Jimmy was real scared. He wasn't sure what was happening at this point. Now, I think Jimmy was, he was just gone into high school at this point. So he had lots of friends at school, but he couldn't see him anymore. Jimmy was locked in there for a very long period of time. He didn't know what to do with himself. Had no one to talk to. There's nothing to do in the little basement cellar surrounded by bricks without any windows. Least he could do was make friends with the candle. But other than that, it wasn't much. It was an awful situation. Couldn't live a normal life. Old Farmer McCarty would come in now and again when Jimmy was sleeping, and he would feed him. But it wouldn't feed him good food, just the scraps that he could find from the farm, like the old yams and cauliflower, whatever it was. Minimal nutrients and calories. Jimmy he could barely stay alive. It was just awful. The worst conditions. Isolation is what it is. It is the worst, the most debilitating thing to the human mind. See, Jimmy was locked in there for so long, so very long. I want to say it was about a year. He was locked in there. Barely even saw his own father. He started to go crazy. He was losing his mind. The lack of social interactions, lack of love and empathy. Nobody knew he was in there. Now remember, this was before a time where you could just call up somebody or figure out a real method to get out of this situation. He had no such technology to do these things, and nobody had the power elsewhere, once they realized he was missing, to really engage a thorough investigation. Now, I want you all to understand that since he was locked in there for so long, he really took it out on himself. He couldn't live in there any longer. He was going absolutely insane. He was hurting himself. was living in, with it being sold, one of the first houses that was built in this here town. There used to be a similar situation to this before. And the previous owners of the house, when they died, there was rumors that they haunted the old farmhouse. Because of that, it was assumed that little Jimmy, when he was locked in that basement for that long, he started to see these demons. It was assumed that they possessed him when he was going through his psychotic state of just mental destruction. Jimmy was likely disturbed, and something happened in that room that nobody really understands. But we don't know. It was likely things, but Jimmy turned into a spirit of some kind, and he was so angry he went to his father. And when his father saw him, it changed something in his mind. He went downstairs, took the nearest hatchet, and he went to the old chopping block to chop wood, but he didn't chop any wood, no. He chopped his own head off. Jimmy, from that point on, haunted the entire town. And that's why you don't see any adults here anymore, because he looked at him, he'd make you kill yourself. But there's rumors that he's still living in that cellar.